I know what you're thinking. What on earth could a home run slugger and a mystery-solving Great Dane possibly have in common? Well, believe it or not, it turns out that Sammy Sosa and Scooby-Doo shared an uncanny parallel journey from 1998 to 2002. Both went from steady performers to the unexpected faces of their industries, absolute icons who injected a new life into baseball and animation. In the mid-90s, both franchises were, well, a bit stagnant. Major League Baseball was still recovering from the 1994 strike, attendance plummeted, and they were desperate for a new star to jumpstart baseball back to superstardom. After a successful run of movies in the late 80s, Boo Brothers, Ghoul School, Reluctant Werewolf, Scooby and the Gang went on a hiatus, a 9-year run from 1989 to 1997, where the only new project featured was Scooby-Doo and Arabian Nights, and well, it did not perform well to say the least. The franchise wasn't dead, it still had success, primarily operating on reruns, but it was on life support, in desperate need of a catalyst to resurrect the series to its past glory. Both baseball and Scooby-Doo needed a spark, and luckily for them, 1998 delivered an inferno for both franchises. A long ball hero emerged at Wrigley Field, and a beloved cartoon dog from the past found new life on Zombie Island. 1998 was the year of revival. Sammy Sosa went from a successful power hitter, coming off 3 straight top 20 MVP finishes, to a cultural phenomenon essentially overnight. The home run chase in 1998 is often credited as resuscitating baseball, and after 2 months, it wasn't even a race. At the end of May, McGwire had 27 home runs to Sosa's 13. But then June arrived and Sammy Sosa emerged, a household name by the end of the month after a meteoric June that featured 20 home runs, setting a major league record for homers in a month. Coming into September 1st, both McGwire and Sosa were tied with 55 homers apiece, a September classic that featured both players going back and forth, breaking Roger Maris's home run record. And just as scriptwriters would have it, McGwire broke Maris's record against Sosa, and the two embraced on field, a moment that will live in baseball history forever. Ultimately, McGwire prevailed, finishing the season with 70 homers to Sosa's 66, but Sammy won the MVP that season and nonetheless became an icon, resurrecting baseball from the 1994 strike. So how does Scooby-Doo's 1998 stack up against Sosa's? Or what the heck does it even have in common with Sammy Sosa's 1998? The answer? Shockingly identical to that of Sosa's. 1998 was a renaissance for Scooby-Doo. Zombie Island released that September, and what was supposed to be Scooby's first feature in years, a direct-to-video film, wound up blowing everyone's expectations out of the water. Real monsters, more intense storytelling, a darker tone, and an updated animation drew in both new viewers and longtime fans. Zombie Island single-handedly revived the Scooby-Doo franchise, ending that 9-year hiatus and establishing a series of annual Scooby-Doo movie releases. While I can't confirm or verify the budget, it's rumored to have been in the $10 million range to produce and had a $50 million marketing budget, and after a 9-year hiatus, I think it's pretty safe to say that a flop more than likely meant a dead franchise. So just as Sammy Sosa's home run spree reinvigorated baseball's popularity, Zombie Island was hailed for saving Scooby-Doo. 1998 being the catalyst that saved both franchises, and luckily for Sosa and Scooby, the two were just getting started. 1999 turned out to be a sequel to the magnificent 1998 home run chase, and in terms of sequels, it was parallel to Empire Strikes Back or Toy Story 2, a damn good sequel. Another epic home run race between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, with McGwire edging out Sosa again, hitting 65 home runs to Sammy's 63. But Sosa led the league in total bases in back-to-back seasons, another Silver Slugger award, and even though the Chicago Cubs stunk up the joint, finishing with their record of 67 and 95, they set a franchise attendance record. Sammy Sosa was scorching hot, and even on the brink of losing 100 games, fans didn't care. He was a must-see attraction. And just like Sosa's 1999, Scooby-Doo's sequel to his massive 1998 proved to be a success as well. Another direct-to-video classic, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost debuted, and crushed it, smartly following up on the darker vibe and the return of real monsters. And while Zombie Island is my personal favorite and a cult classic, The Witch's Ghost brought us the Hex Girls, who became instant fan favorites and still live today in pop culture history. It kept the Scooby-Doo renaissance going. In baseball terms, if Zombie Island was Scooby-Doo's 66 home run season, then Witch's Ghost was a 63 home run follow-up. Not as revolutionary as the predecessor, but just as impactful. By the end of 1999, Scooby-Doo was a household name again, more popular than ever. Thankfully for America, the duo didn't stop there. We still needed Sammy and Scoob, and when the clock struck 2000 and the world hadn't ended, Sammy Sosa kept his hot streak alive. And while Sosa didn't slug 60 homers that season, you could argue it was his most complete season thus far. He batted .320, put together a .406 on-base percentage, and had an OPS of 1.040, all personal highs at the time. Sosa became a more well-rounded hitter, and funny enough, while he didn't hit 60 homers, his 50 homers actually led the league this time, his first time doing that as well. Essentially, with McGwire's slight decline, Sammy Sosa became the slugger in Major League Baseball, the face of MLB, and at this point he was baseball's most marketable star at the turn of the century. Scooby-Doo continued its annual movie release in 2000. This time it was Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. After ghosts and zombies, why not roll with aliens and UFOs? Alien Invaders featured a much lighter tone than Zombie Island and Witch's Ghost, but it did feature real aliens, keeping that aspect alive. And while Alien Invaders might not be as universally or critically acclaimed as Zombie Island, it kept the franchise momentum going. Simply put, Scooby-Doo was printing money, so why would Warner Brothers stop? Its 6.8 rating on IMDb ties for second place for Scooby movies from 2000 to 2009. Ultimately, a great movie that fans still love and crave today. Scooby was riding a wave of success just as Sammy was carrying baseball's power-hitting torch into a new century. If any year could rival Sammy Sosa's 1998 season, it was 2001. Statistically speaking, it was his best season ever. He posted a career-high 10.3 B-WAR, batting .328 with the .437 on-base percentage and a slugging percentage of .737, totaling a 1.174 OPS. He led the league with 146 runs, 160 RBIs, and 425 total bases, the most in a single season since MLB's expansion era began in 1961. His 64 homers also made him the only player in Major League history with 3 60-plus home run seasons. But beyond the numbers, 2001 showed Sosa as the emotional center of baseball. In the wake of 9/11, his return to Wrigley, sprinting to right field with an American flag, then homering and rounding the bases while holding it, still remains one of the sport's most iconic and healing moments, an endearing display that the nation needed. Bonds may have owned the spotlight that season, but Sammy was the soul of the game. For Scooby, 2001 featured Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, the fourth film in the revived series and the last one of the original direct-to-video revival. Scooby and the gang get zapped into a video game based on themselves. The movie features tons of fun callbacks, having the gang re-encountering monsters and villains from their past adventures, a love letter to its fans. Ultimately, after 4 successful direct-to-film videos, Scooby-Doo had proven its recent resurgence wasn't a flash in the pan. It had staying power with the new generation, and Cyber Chase helped launch Scooby-Doo into a meteoric 2002. 2002 marked Sammy Sosa's final season as one of baseball's top sluggers. He hit 49 home runs, leading the league for the second time in his career. From 1998 to 2002, Sosa averaged 58 homers, 141 RBIs, a .306 batting average, and a 1.046 OPS. A 5-year stretch that ranks among the greatest power-hitting runs in MLB history. Even in 2002, he lit up the Home Run Derby with one of the most iconic Derby performances ever. But the spotlight was starting to shift. Barry Bonds was the reigning MVP with 73 homers, and new stars like Ichiro and Albert Pujols were capturing attention. As bright as Sosa still burned, the writing was on the wall. His 2003 season would bring controversy, the corked bat, the whispers, but in 2002 he remained a king in the game, just like a certain Great Dane riding his own red-hot streak. If 2002 marked the end of Sosa's peak, it was arguably the pinnacle of Scooby-Doo's mainstream resurgence. 2002 featured 3 huge milestones for the Great Dane. The release of Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights, a video game released for PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, a classic game that still gets rave reviews today. It also marked Scooby-Doo's return to television, debuting What's New Scooby-Doo, a TV show that ran for 3 seasons from 2002 to 2006. And most importantly, Scooby-Doo made his live-action debut, hitting theaters in June of 2002. No longer a direct-to-video icon, but now a summer blockbuster star. The movie opened at #1 on the box office, and while critic reviews may have been negative, it was a smash hit that my generation absolutely loved and still loves today, and the box office proved that. 2002 was absolutely the peak of Scooby Mania, similar to Sosa Mania of 1998. And just as Sosa still had success after 2002, Scooby did as well. But a lot of the creative team that helped make Scooby successful from 1998 to 2002 had moved on. The live-action sequel didn't recapture the magic of the original, although I still love it, and the direct-to-film videos continued, but none quite matching the magic that Zombie Island, Witch's Ghost, Alien Invaders, and Cyber Chase captivated audiences with. By the end of 2002, both Sammy Sosa and Scooby-Doo had ridden an incredible 5-year wave and were beginning to drift back toward Earth. They still saw success. Sosa reached 600 career home runs, including 40 in 2003 and a fantastic NLCS against the Marlins. Scooby kept churning out movies and games, some of which still rate incredibly high today and are considered classics by Scooby fans. But let's be real, 1998 to 2002 was their peak, a heater of a lifetime for both characters. Both exploded onto the scene in 1998, reviving their lanes and reaching meteoric heights. Sosa helped save baseball post-strike, Scooby rebooted a fading brand teetering on Flintstones Jetsons territory. After 2002, their supernova run dimmed. Sosa's production and image were tarnished by age and controversy, and Scooby's renaissance settled into routine output, with some of the films beginning to feel lazy as opposed to the unique masterpieces that preceded them. Both had essentially peaked and left an enduring legacy from that 1998 to 2002 chapter. Looking back, it's wild. A Dominican slugger and a cartoon dog somehow sharing the same arc. One crushing fastballs, the other solving mysteries, a true crossover moment from a glitch in the Matrix, and zoinks, what a time to be alive.